Something even more important than faith in devotional practices and things like that when it comes to spirituality is scrutiny and discrimination and discernment. And I know when we're on the spiritual path, we want to try and bolster our faith, surrender, let go, kind of give up control. But that can lead us to blind faith and being tricked. And it happens all the time. We see it with modern day gurus, they make all these promises and make us feel certain things that make us believe that they have the answers and that we have to seek out their wisdom and do what they do in order to grow as spiritual beings. But the truth is the answers are inside of us, and we have to look at the world with discernment and scrutiny, because it is the only way that we can really distill the truth. So when we come into contact with somebody, a teacher, a saint, or whatever, it's very important that we do scrutinize them. We do question them. We have to be discerning with what they teach us, and we only take on what feels right for us. More often than not, people fall into the trap of false belief, blind faith. And it was the Buddha who said that we must be scrutinous and we must question everything, because that questioning is the alchemical process through which truth is distilled. If you do not go seeking for truth, you will not find it. You have to become a truth seeker. You have to have a yearning for the absolute reality. And when you have that yearning, only then it will start to reveal itself to you, because we attract what we think about. So if you believe that your life is out of control and that you must surrender to some guru in order to find liberation, then the universe will manifest that scenario for you. But the absolute truth is that spirituality is a very personal and subjective experience, and you have to rely on your own direct experience with absolute consciousness in order to gain wisdom and knowledge. To take the advice of wise people, take in their words, be open to their teachings, but at the same time question it and ask yourself if doing this is really right for you. And that really is the alchemical symbol of distilling lead from gold, sifting through the bullshit until you are left with a semblance of undeniable truth, your nuggets of gold. In her hand, Kali holds the blade of discernment, and with it she decides what is right and wrong. She uses her blade to cut the good flowers, to put them in her bouquets and on her altars. But she also uses the same blade to cut out all the weeds and the dead flowers and the elements of ourselves that are no longer so serving us and functioning well for us. The blade of Kali represents neurological pruning away all the bad habits of the things that no longer help us. Discernment is a great power because it takes us very, very close and leaves us with an absolute truth. If we are strong scrutinizers, we will cultivate good methods to detect and sift out bullshit. But some people who are a little bit over devotional may experience the ecstasy of God, and they may feel connection with God, which is very pure and very true and very real. They may lack in functional wisdom that will help them to live better, more fulfilling lives. You see a lot of bhaktas give up their lives to join the monasteries and the sects, because such an unmanaged, overwhelming rush of emotion can fuck up your life in unforeseeable ways. It can make you leave your job, it can make you leave your family, it can make you leave all your loved ones behind without any explanation, without caring. It can make you leave behind your entire life. But you find that a lot of the truth and wisdom seekers, knowledge seekers, they are the householders. They stay behind. They have the ability to scrutinize what is good and bad for them. And alongside feeling that direct experience of God within the heart space, they also have the knowledge and the wisdom enough to understand that one place is not more sacred than the other, that the temple is no more sacred than the home, that to live a truly spiritual life is to be human fully, and to use your own human incarnation, your own situation, as a vehicle for your liberation is the epitome of mastery. And the honed ability to accurately discern what is good for you and what is not good for you is a valuable tool in the establishment of that. So I do encourage scrutiny. I do encourage people to question their belief systems as hard as they can, because at the end of the day, no matter how hard you push against it or question it, the truth cannot be moved, because it is the truth. And when you come across something that no matter how hard you try, you cannot scrutinize against, when you have found some kind of Mahavidya, Mahavakya, or some kind of true axiom that cannot be denied, then you know you have sifted through to something pure and absolutely refined. And don't just scrutinize your teaching, scrutinize yourself. Scrutinize your own way of thinking. Why did I say that? Why did I do that? Why do I think in these ways? What is the reason? Scrutiny promotes self-investigation and investigation into the world, inquiry into the nature of reality and self. Scrutinize your own life, scrutinize your own habits and your own choices. But also be careful, because there are some things that work for us that we cannot understand. There are some things that just play in our favor that we can never conceptualize rationally. And so here we see the balance in the practice. Like all things, there are balance. We cannot be too over-scrutinous, because then we become atheistic and anti-superstitious. We seek only the absolute and forget how to function with all of the other dualistic things that are very evident in our lives. Some people who chase God too much will forget about their human lives and miss out on this rare opportunity to be a human being. And yes, humanity is full of suffering, but suffering is full of lessons. And if you're wise enough, you can cultivate good wisdom and great wisdom out of the hardship of your own life. And that is a great part of Agora Tantra. Taking things that are not nice, taking things that are ugly and grotesque, all my shadows, all my traumas, all my horrible things, working with them, trying to use them as vehicles for self-improvement, vehicles for self-insight, vehicles for self-forgiveness and for coming to peace. You use your own incarnation as a vehicle for your own liberation. And to navigate your way through this very convincing, illusionary, dualistic world and menagerie of forms, scrutiny and discernment is going to be one of your most valuable tools. And using the blade of that discernment, we must learn how to carve out a good life for us. We must learn how to carve out a good philosophy. We must learn how to carve out a solid moral compass, and learn how to carve for ourselves a life that we deeply desire. By being honest and truthful with ourselves, by scrutinizing ourselves, we can get to the bottom of what it is that we truly want in life and what we truly do not want. And it is only in that space of very deep, very real truth that we can make wise decisions that will greatly impact us in profound and wise and prominent ways. Any decision based on a half-baked idea is going to result in a half-baked outcome. In other words, you should not build on rocky foundations. Get down to the raw truth of who you are first before you decide where you want to put your energies in life. Use your discernment to realize that you may be in a situation and you may be giving a lot of energy to something that really does not serve you and something that you are genuinely not interested in. And in this way, discernment and scrutiny can help us live a life that is so much more orientated to our absolute and most inner truth.